Hello everyone, Gayatri Prem Kumar here, and today we are going to discuss about the life process respiration. Already we had some information, we had a lot of information about the nutrition process both in plants as well as in animals, and today we will discuss about the respiration process in general. What is the concept of respiration, and then we'll discuss about respiration in plants, terrestrial animals, aquatic organisms, and the process involved in breathing. So all that we'll be discussing one after the other in the upcoming videos. So first basic thing, we will have an idea about what is respiration taking place in our body, where it is taking place, and what is the mechanism underlying that, what is the purpose of the respiration process, what is the end product produced, what is the purpose of having that kind of respiration in our body, and we will have everything in a stepwise process. Discuss about how the respiration process is going to taking place in the plant. So when I say the plant, we know that very well. Leaf is the part of the plant where exchange of gases takes place through stomata. But does the exchange takes place only through the leaf, or any other parts of the plant is involved? Yes, definitely. Apart from the leaf, we do have stem and root that is involved in the exchange of gases. When we say leaf, stomata is the opening for the exchange of gases. But when we say stem and root, lenticles are the opening which are present in the stem and root that allow the exchange of gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide to pass through the plant. So now coming back, what is the process involved in that? The process involved in that is the simple diffusion process through which the gas like oxygen and carbon dioxide go in and out of the plants, and thereby it is distributed throughout the plant body. And if you see the leaf arrangement which we have discussed in the cross-sectional view of a leaf, the cells are placed in such a way that there is more free space and there is contact for the gases that is entering, air that is entering inside the leaf. So again coming back, on what concept this simple diffusion happens? So this simple diffusion takes place based upon the requirement of the plant and also based on the environmental condition. This diffusion process will take place. So based upon that, if you see in the night time, the amount of carbon dioxide that is released from the plant will be more. The elimination of carbon dioxide is the main process that is taking place in the plant at night time. And if you see in the daytime, this carbon dioxide that is produced by the plant in the night time is taken up by the plant in the daytime, and thereby it releases oxygen. So the amount of oxygen released will be more in the daytime. And what is the process involved in that? The process involved in that is the photosynthesis. Once more oxygen is released. If you see in the night time, the respiration process, the rate of respiration will be more, and then what is produced more? Carbon dioxide is produced more at the night time. So this carbon dioxide produced in the night time is utilized by the plant for the process of photosynthesis, and thereby it releases oxygen in the daytime. That is why it is like saying that you should not go near the plants at the night time. The reason is carbon dioxide is eliminated more in the night time, and when you go have a walk in the morning, like you have more oxygen supply, and that is because of rate of photosynthesis that is happening more in the daytime. So this is about the respiration process that is taking place in the plants. And now we will see what is the process involved in the aquatic organisms. Can you guess how the aquatic organisms do take in oxygen? Any guess? If you see the terrestrial organisms, the amount of oxygen that is present in the air is higher compared to the amount of dissolved oxygen that is present in the water. So the amount of oxygen, it is the dissolved form in the water, the concentration is less compared to that of in the open air in the terrestrial region. So these aquatic organisms has to breathe faster, and thereby the rate of breathing is faster in case of the aquatic organism compared to that of the terrestrial organisms. Now what happens? How do, for example, we'll take the aquatic organism like fish. So you can see the fish, whether it is in the aquarium or any other place, you can see the fish keeps opening the mouth very frequently. Do you know what is the reason that they keep opening? Okay, apart from intaking the food, it also keeps opening so that the water enters through the mouth, and then it passes through the gills. Okay, it passes through the gills, and the gills are enriched with the blood capillaries. So these blood capillaries will absorb the oxygen that is present in the water, and thereby it is send it to the rest of the part of the fish body. So the fish take in the water through the mouth and passes through the gills, and thereby what happens, the oxygen is absorbed through the blood capillaries present in the gills, and from there the oxygen enters the other part of the body, and thereby the water again comes out. So this is what happens in the aquatic organism, especially in the fishes, and thereby the rate of breathing is more. If any question comes for you, why the rate of breathing is more in aquatic organism, the answer is like the amount of dissolved oxygen is lesser compared to that of in the terrestrial region, and thereby they breathe faster. And then how do the fishes respire? The fishes respire through the gills, where the oxygen present in the water is taken through the blood capillaries present in the gills and pass it to the rest of the body. So this is how you have to write the answer for that. So this is about the aquatic organism through which the respiration takes place. Now the next concept is about the terrestrial organism. As I have discussed already, terrestrial organisms, the concentration is comparatively more. And how do the terrestrial organisms respire? These organisms present in the terrestrial region have specially designed organs which are mostly present internal inside the body, and these structure have space, and these space or the surface area will be more for the exchange of gases to take place, and thereby they are fine and delicate structure that allows these kind of exchange of gases to take place. So under the terrestrial organism, we have a list or range of organism, but we will discuss about human beings. How do human respire? Like how we are eager to know the nutrition process that is taking place in the human being. We also want to know how the respiration process do take place in the human beings. So we will discuss about the respiration that is taking place in the humans, and that will be the example for the terrestrial organisms. Discuss about how the respiration taking place in the human being. So we all know very well that through these two opening, and that opening is called as the nostrils. So through these two openings, the air enters and reaches the windpipe. Here you can see the windpipe, which is along with the foot pipe, which I have mentioned you already. And this windpipe is called as the trachea. And how is this windpipe designed? This windpipe is designed in such a way, it is a ring of cartilaginous tissue. Ring, like how that you have the cartilaginous tissue the tip in the ear, tip of the nose. Likewise, here you have the cartilaginous ring-like structure. Why it is ring-like design? To prevent the collapse of air. If air is rushing suddenly, it will result in collapse. To prevent that, it is the ring of cartilaginous tissue, so that the air passes in a uniform, proper manner. And then the trachea branch into two branches called as bronchi, one entering into each lung. So it is a pair of lungs. So each one entering into each lung, and the bronchi further divides into tiny, you can see the branch as bronchiole. This is the trachea, and the trachea divided into two bronchi entering into each lung, and then the bronchi further divides into bronchiole and leads into tiny air sacs. Air sacs called as cluster air sacs called as alveoli. So these alveoli are enriched with the blood capillaries, and this is the place where the exchange of gas is going to take place. So these are the alveoli, and where the exchange of gases is going to take place. And then following that, so we will discuss about how the exchange of gases takes place in the alveoli. But before that, and we will see the process of inhalation and exhalation. So when I say inhalation, inhale, we deeply breathe in. So you can do yourself and check what are the changes that you feel when you inhale and exhale. So when you inhale, you can see that the lifting of the ribs, and then the diaphragm becomes flat. So this is the, you can see the diaphragm is the muscle which is present below the lungs, and you can see this diaphragm becomes flat, and as a result what happens, it creates the chest cavity also becomes larger, and thereby the air from outside rushes inside the lungs. Whereas when you exhale, when you exhale, you can see the diaphragm assumes a dome-shaped structure, pushes the lungs upward, and thereby pressurizes the air present in the lungs to move out. So that is the process of exhalation. And so so sometimes the question might be asked, what are the difference between inhalation and exhalation? What are the process that is happening in inhalation and exhalation? How will be the chest cavity, how will be the diaphragm shape? So all these questions might be asked. What is the mixture of, when I say air enters into the alveoli, what are the components present in the air? Only oxygen enters and carbon dioxide goes out? No, air contains a mixture of gases, but the composition of oxygen will be more, and that too based upon the environment where you are. For example, if you see in the morning time when you are walking in the park which is full of greenery, there you can see the oxygen concentration will be more. At the same time, when you're standing in the traffic, then the concentration of carbon dioxide and other gases will be more. So usually we do the inhalation process, and we assume that predominantly oxygen enters inside our lungs and reaches the alveoli. So in alveoli, as I discussed already, it is enriched or supplied with the blood capillaries. Now what happens? So as we discussed already, that in the glycolysis and the other process, carbon dioxide is the end product that is produced in each and every cell due to breakdown of glucose. Now what happens? Now all these glucose which is broken down, or any of the fatty acid or amino acid broken down, this carbon dioxide present in the cell has to be eliminated or removed out. So how this elimination or removal process takes place, where again the blood vessels will carry this carbon dioxide and come back to the alveoli, and as we discussed, alveoli is enriched with the blood capillaries. This carbon dioxide rich blood which has come from different parts of the body will be coming here. It is like a simple diffusion process. So this carbon dioxide rich blood which is enriched with capillaries, again what it do, it comes to the alveoli, where now the alveoli, it has inhaled the air which contain rich in oxygen. So this oxygen will be given to the blood capillaries, and this carbon dioxide which is carried by the blood vessels will be reciprocated to the alveoli. Now what will happen? The blood vessel which has carried carbon dioxide has taken the oxygen which is present in alveoli, and thereby the carbon dioxide present in blood vessel is given to the alveoli. Now alveoli, when we exhale, this carbon dioxide will go out. Now will all the carbon dioxide go out of the body through the alveoli, or all the oxygen will enter into the alveoli at the same time? Always some residual amount, minimal amount of oxygen and carbon dioxide is always present in the alveoli for the exchange process to take place, this exchange to take place. So thereby this oxygen which is present in alveoli through the blood vessel reaches all the parts of the body. Now this process takes place by a simple diffusion method, but only through diffusion, if the entire process has to happen, it will take a lot of time for that one oxygen molecule to reach our body. So we do have some important role that is played by the respiratory pigment that is called as the hemoglobin, which is present in the RBC, and this hemoglobin is a respiratory pigment which has high affinity. Affinity means what? Attachment or attraction towards the oxygen, and thereby this hemoglobin which is present in the RBC will attach to the oxygen, and it will supply to all the cell which are lacking or deficient in the oxygen. So it will carry and deposit into the cells, where, because it has undergone metabolism, aerobic respiration, which we have discussed already, right? So through aerobic respiration, oxygen is utilized, carbon dioxide is more. So it will go and deposit the oxygen to the cell and take the carbon dioxide, and again the cycle keep repeating again and again. So this is what happens in the respiration in human beings, where entry of air happens through the nostrils, through trachea, which is branched to bronchi, final branching called as bronchiole, and this bronchiole contain tiny air sac called as alveoli, and that is the place where exchange of gas is taking place. It is enriched with the blood capillaries. And then we do have an important role that is played by the respiratory pigment called as hemoglobin, which has high affinity for oxygen. Then we have the process of inhale and exhale. So inhalation, what happens? The diaphragm remains flat, creates more space for the air to rush in, whereas in case of exhalation, diaphragm assumes dome shape and thereby pushes the air out. So this is what happens in the process of inhalation and exhalation. And then we also discussed about the role of alveoli, where exchange takes place through the blood vessel, which is enriched with the blood capillaries. Hope we had some information about how the respiration takes place in the plants, aquatic organisms, and then in the human beings. Thank you.